the intro music. Yeah! Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing what we've been doing every month for like a year. We're reviewing this past arc and telling you what I thought of the month and, grading it out. See what you think as well, because that's what the comment section down below is for. It's actually right here. This little comment box right now will open your wildest dreams and imaginations. Actually, no, it won't. It'll simply give the devs something to read when they decide of how to ruin your lives in the future. Hopefully, I'm just being very dramatic because it's like 8 in the morning, but whatever. Today, we're going to talk about this past event, bringing us the Cerritos taco ship, and honestly grading out everything. The events, the missions, the story, the arc as a whole, the avatars, everything. And then what we'll do is get you to grade it yourselves because, well, that's what you're here for. If you want to help out the video to make sure that more people see it and that it actually helps you, like it. Just like this. See over there? Little subscribe button, thumbs up, ring the little bell to get notified when we go live and everything going on. What I want to do is start off with the Cerritos. And the reason I want to start off with the Cerritos is because I think this was probably one of the biggest attempts by Scopely. Let's put it this way. This is one of the biggest attempts by Star Trek Fleet Command to add some variety to the game in quite some time. A lot of the recent updates have been good. I mean, I've really enjoyed Rom as an officer, coming to the game. I think that the Fisha, while flawed to start, was made into what it needed to be. With one major flaw, it still doesn't mind regular Latinum at a decent rate, but I guess that is what it is. All of the ships that have been getting updates are good, but it really didn't provide anything new to the game. This provided something completely new. A final support class that acts basically as a bard, and that was something new. And I'm curious to see how they can add to that in the future. This is a unique adventure going into not only Lower Decks, which is obviously a IP and a title that it wasn't favored by everybody. Now, a lot of people loved it. I actually got dozens of comments of people saying that they had never even tried Lower Decks until seeing it here, decided to give it a try and enjoyed it. And I don't expect everybody to enjoy Lower Decks, but it is a fantastic Star Trek series in the sense that, one, a lot of Easter eggs, probably more Easter eggs in Lower Decks than any other Star Trek series of all time, and two, giving a different perspective of Star Trek, and I enjoy it, which leads us to where we are here. This is a different brand, a different, iteration of Star Trek Fleet Command with a support class vessel. Now, it does have its flaws. Number one, how does the sourcing, which this event running every Wednesday is great for everybody level 35 and above who can prepare to build the ship, and level 36 and above to use it. But what about the officer sourcing for, say, that level 24 player or that level 28 player? Well, they're just kind of up the creek without the paddle right now, and I don't like that. But as the ship itself, the upgrade they made to where when this buffs you, even if you're level 20, this gives you a buff, that was a great improvement. So now this actually affects everybody regardless of research. The research simply makes it better for you based on how much research you've done. So for the ship itself, I'm going to give it a B-. It wasn't perfect. It's a venture into a completely new area, and I will give them a little bit of leeway. I'm going to wait and see if it gets anything added to it to make it to an A. Right now, the biggest negative is that it didn't provide enough sourcing for early level players, but it had a free-to-play path announced day one, which I absolutely love. Everybody's going to get this ship for free, guaranteed. Starting at level 35, you can start earning it, and that is going to be for the life of the game, which I think is a great way to do it and how they should do it in the future. So Cerritos Taco gets a B- for me. Let's move over to the officers real quick. Now, at the time of making this video, I've not unlocked all three. I will have Mariner unlocked by the time today wraps up. This is launching 8 in the morning, so later that day, I'll have placed high enough in the leaderboard to get her. But in terms of the officers, I'm going to give them a solid B- as well. Now, the question is, why only a B-? Well, through testing so far, really not seeing a huge difference for most players with Badgie and Boimler in actual loadouts, with their lower deck ability being increasing armor, shield deflection, and dodge, so a mitigation booster, and then Badgie having this one right here, increasing armor penetration, shield penetration, and accuracy to hopefully lower the opponent's mitigation. Very, very minimal changes, even at level 1 or tier 1, tier 2. Now we can do the math and kind of see that maxed out there will be a little bit of a change there. But once again, that's a long way to go. And they also have no captain's ability and really no point even being used on the bridge. So if the whole purpose was for their lower deck ability to be game changing or at least helpful, it's a pretty negligible change. So for that reason, I can't give them the highest grade for the officers, but I can say all 3 of them work. Have confirmed that. And I think that's kind of important. We've had definitely times where they didn't all work. And if you don't believe me, join my Discord, because people are letting them know all the time the things that don't work. If you want to know what Scopely does wrong, check my Discord. I promise you, they know. They see it because y'all tell them. That's how it should be. Anyway, that was a little bit too much of a minimization there. Just calm down, computer. Calm down. But officers B-. Boimler, I did notice some testing. You could get like a 1 or 2% change, and it does help long term to have it. It is better, and as I pointed out, it all adds up, which is why these aren't getting a D grade. But they're not like overwhelmingly amazing either, with Mariner being the easiest one to show off and test. Now, if you haven't already on this account, I've not done it. On another account, I did. Get the missions and run them. This is probably the only time I'm going to give missions an A+. I really have no fault. This was perfect. Absolutely perfect. So good. Like even my camera has now gotten offset, where now my lips are moving slightly past my voice. That doesn't matter. My camera has been acting up. These missions were absolutely fantastic. The writing in them was beautiful. If you watched Lower Decks and enjoyed it, you can hear the voices of these characters in this mission set. What more needs to be said? That is the perfect example of how to create missions. If you can hear the characters, perfection. That's all there is to it. They did a fantastic job with this one. And shout out, by the way, to Windows, because after this update, man, it is just absolutely not wanting to match up very well. I don't know what happened. But as soon as I did that, I'm rambling in the middle of a video, but it's been happening more and more for those people watching the lives and everything, where the camera desyncs with my voice, and I have no idea what's causing that. Yeah, absolutely none at all. Maybe we'll just, do what I just did and reboot it. And yeah, look, there it goes. Perfectly fine. I'm not even going to take that edit out. That's just me complaining about Windows doing updates. If you don't like Windows doing updates that you can't turn off, comment. Let me know what you think. I know many of you work in STEM fields. All right, so we've done officers, we've done missions, we've done the ship itself. But let's talk about the biggest one of all, events. As I click through all the officers, I'll promise we might have to just do a whole series. Let's talk about the events. The best event probably in the entire run would have been the Red Alarm event. Most of you loved Red Alarm, and for good reason. The best payouts we literally have ever had. Now, as we know, that was not necessarily intended. That was kind of a mistake. So, tough to get too excited about that. We've also in previous months have had the ticket events where they had been making mistakes and they provided more tickets than maybe you were probably planned to get. And what I mean by that is, if you look, we generally have a pattern. If you have 3 ticket events on a weekend or on a day, you get 1 for free as a free to play and you buy the other 2 to make 3. Well, in a couple of these past months, we've been able to do more than that. This month, you got 6. You were able to go through and get the exact amount you needed to do 1 a day throughout the entirety. I think people got a little spoiled because they were clicking through here hoping like, hey, I want more, where's more? And they're just not there. Now, we did get some nice things in the battle pass. I'll talk about it in a second. But in terms of ticket events, I think most people were hoping to continue to get some amazingness. But one thing this month did do is source officers better than any month before. Not just counting the treasury and not just counting the $20 battle pass, but seriously better than ever before. We've had more officer shards pay out, especially because of the Cerritos refinery. So because of that, I've got to give the events a positive grade. There were some negatives though. Turf Wars did not pan out for a lot of players, and because of that, Turf Wars gets a negative grade for most people. But I don't think that means everything was bad. I do think that it's pretty annoying that we had things like Doomsday to wrap up towards the end, but Duty Shifts I think was great. And let's not forget, Cerritos of Borg was a fantastic event series for players. It allowed them to grind through and get a lot of rewards, and I thought that was a fantastic addition to end up with. The Avatar run here for the specials, well, hit or miss. Some people are going to dislike avatars, some people are going to love them. For me, it's tough to decide with my final two. I really want these three: the floating ransom head, the villain mariner, and Rumdar. Not sure what I'll go with. I did get my golden Miles O'Brien. But as far as events, I'm going to give the events a C+. The turf wars just really brought it down for me and a lot of the other players, and just the ticket events being based more around officer shards and actually good payouts because of previous rewards lowers it a bit for me. I don't think the event structure was bad. It just felt like it got bogged down at times and just kind of became a drag at the second half of the month. But curious what y'all think. Now, what I will say is the battle pass was a very, very good battle pass. I thought it had a great mix of things that players can use. Example, Syndicate XP in the free path. Free officer in the free path. We love it. One of the reasons I like having uncommon officers is we got him for free. Everybody this month should have Badgie. Everybody should have Badgie. If you don't have Badgie, I don't know how you don't get Badgie. You also got more badges in, which was a request from players. Not to mention you had the combined of good payouts per normal that we're usually getting in our battle passes. There was the early issues in the beginning of the month. Those seem to have all got rectified. So now we ended up with a battle pass that seemed to pay out very, very well across most level ranges. And then the $20 version also had a lot of good in it. Like you can see the Syndicate XP here with Trade XP, but still independent credit payouts, faction credit payouts. You had Badgie, you had tickets. I felt like there wasn't a lot of fluff in this one. It was a lot of what you wanted. It's a lot of what you needed. And I think that's kind of how we always try to get them to play it out. So it was a win-win for me. I think that if you disagree, I'd be shocked if this is what you were like really harping on. This wasn't really good, but I thought the battle pass was probably one of the better ones we've had in a while because it wasn't full of filler that you didn't need. You got everything you needed and you were able to compete this month and not really miss out. Finally, the overflow, which I missed a final milestone I'm going to miss out on. The addition of the broken to ceiling rods brings up the battle pass month for me. I'm concluding this in battle pass rewards to an A. Absolutely fantastic. I think that one, the Tom Paris played is amazing, but more than that, the broken to ceiling rods allowing players at the current rate to get two free treasury packs a year, 30-day chest plus battle pass overflow if they stick with this current pacing, 2 free a year. That's a $300 value because those packs are worth about 150% of a normal $100 pack. If that's the one that you see, that has a lot of value to me as well. So in the end, I'm going to give this arc a B. Now you can argue C+, B-. I think that the events probably just got bogged down a little bit too much. They experimented with some things that simply didn't work. But overall, I felt like there was a ton to offer for most players. My biggest gripe on the entire arc is honestly that there wasn't enough meat for the 20s. And I feel like if you bring out an arc, you really need to try to make it to where everybody feels included and loved on. And that's what I try to do on Twitch. If you haven't joined us, twitch.tv/RevDeuce. That is where you get to see the real wild side of me come out. And our baby shower recently. Anyway, I want to know what you think about this in the comment section below. I know this is the third time we've run it, but it's important because your feedback helps determine events. Not only do the devs come and read the comments, but individuals like myself, Ultimate DJ, the moderators on the official Discord, all of us want to know so that we can get better at representing you when we go through our meetings. Live long and prosper. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces. That's me. I'll catch you on the next video. And thank you for hanging out with us. Outies.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.